Till now, we have seen the addition and subtraction of like fractions. Like fractions means fractions having same denominators. Here, we shall be discussing addition and subtraction of unlike fractions. So, unlike fractions means fractions having different bottom number, or better known as denominators. For example, if we are given to add two numbers like 5 upon 8 plus 3 upon 7. So these two fractions have got different bottom numbers or different denominators. So now how we are going to add? We know that in case of like fractions we have got same denominators, and we added the numerators keeping the denominator same. Now the trick over here in case of unlike fraction is that we are going to make this different denominators same. So this is our target over here, so that we will have to convert fractions in such a way that the different denominators will become same denominators or same bottom numbers. So this is our main target, and after achieving this target of having same denominators for both these fractions, we can add the numerators. So here we take the help of something we have already learned called equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. So what are equivalent fractions? Two fractions which are represented by different numbers, but they are same. For example, 1 by 2 is equal to 2 by 4. These two fractions are one and same. How we have arrived from 1 by 2 to 2 by 4 is by multiplying the upper number by 2 and also the bottom number by 2. So 2 ones are 12 and 2 twos are 4. So 1 by 2 is the same thing as 2 by 4. These things we have already discussed. Suppose we have a circle and I have divided that into half, and I am considering this half. So this shaded region represents 1 by 2, and on the other hand, if we have the same circle, we divide that into by 4, as the bottom number represents 4, which is the total number of units. So we have divided the circle into 4 regions, and we have taken 2 regions. So we'll say 2 regions. So you can see that this represents 2 by 4. But ultimately, you can see that this shaded region can also be called as the half of this particular circle. Therefore, pictorially also you can see that 1 by 2 equal to 2 by 4, which is ultimately equal to 1 by 2. So this thing we have already studied earlier. Now again, if we multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, we can arrive at the equivalent fractions. So having said that, our target over here is to convert fractions to equivalent fractions so that the numbers to be added or subtracted have got same denominators. Now this target, what target? The target of making denominators of the addends same can be fulfilled by in two ways. So we can say that this target of having common denominator. Common means same denominator. Common denominators. So this target of common denominators can be fulfilled using two ways. One way is we can call that as the easiest common denominator method. And the other one popularly called as lowest common denominator. So sometimes we will find that this is the easier one, and sometimes this is the easier. Anyway, both will give you the same answer, but the approach is different. So here we will first discuss the easiest common denominator. So let us take the same example of 5 by 8 upon 3 by 7. So I will take a little bit of space over here. 5 over 8 plus 3 by 7. So let me rewrite 3 by 8 plus 5 by 7. Please pay attention to the details over here. So here what we will do. So here I am discussing easiest common denominator. So we are going to convert both these fractions into their respective equivalent fractions and making their denominators same. Now the trick over here is to take the denominator of fraction 1 and multiply Let me write the fraction again. 3 by 8 plus 5 by 8. Now here what? 5 by 7. So now what we are going to do? We shall take 8 of the first fraction and then we shall multiply the second fraction by a whole fraction or 1. So this, see over here, this 8 by 8 is equal to whole or can be called as 1. So multiplying the numerator and the denominator of the second fraction by the denominator of the first fraction will give you an equivalent fraction of this second fraction. Similarly, we will take the denominator of the second fraction and with that number we will make a whole fraction 7 by 7 and multiply the first fraction with that particular number. So 3 upon 8 into 7 upon 7 and 7 upon 7 is a whole fraction, that is 1. So now if you do this, what you will arrive at, let me write the first equation first. 7 3s are 21 and 7 8s are 56. So this fraction 21 upon 56 is the equivalent fraction of 3 upon 8. Why? Because we have multiplied the upper number by 7 and the bottom number by 7. We already know that if we are given a same, if we multiply the upper number and the lower number by the same number, say n, then we will arrive at a fraction an by bn which is equal to a by b. Please remember this thing. So we arrive at the equivalent fraction, that is 21 upon 56. Similarly, we will do for the second fraction. 5 8s are 50, after multiplication of the numerator. 7 8s are 56. Very good. We have arrived at our target, and our target was to achieve the same denominators for the two fractions. So both the fractions have got 56 as the denominator, and we have also arrived at the equivalent fractions. The equivalent fraction of the second addend of the second number also is 40 upon 56 is the equivalent fraction of 5 upon 7. So we can say 5 upon 7 is equal to 40 upon 56. So now as we have got same denominator for both this fraction, we can add them easily as we have done for the addition of like fractions, because these two are again like fractions. So the 56 and we will add the numerators, which is equal to 61 upon 56. So the answer to this question, 3 by 8 plus 5 by 7 will be equal to 61 upon 56. So if you are given unlike fraction, say addition, now the target is to, what is the target over here? Target is to find out common denominator or common bottom number and then add as like fractions, because after finding common denominator we will arrive at like fractions which can be added very easily. Let's take a few more examples of addition and subtraction of unlike fractions using method 1, that is finding the easiest common denominator. Say for example we wish to add 5 by 6 plus 7 by 9. What our method 1 says is to one denominator and multiply that denominator with the top and bottom number of the second fraction and take the denominator of the second number and multiply second fraction and then multiply that with the numerator and denominator of the first fraction. Let us see thing in hand, the whole procedure in action. 5 by 6 will multiply this by 9 upon 9, the denominator of the second fraction. Next, take the second fraction 7 by 9 will multiply top and bottom number with the denominator of the first fraction. So by doing so, we shall be converting the fractions to their respective equivalent fractions, and the denominators will also become same. 5 9s are 45 and 6 9s are 54 plus 7 6 are 42 and 6 nines are 54. So you'll see that both fractions will become like fractions. Now you may add the numerators without any issue. So 2 plus 5 is 7, 4 plus 4 is 8. So 87 upon 54 is the answer. After doing this, you may reduce this fraction also. The numbers 87 and 54 are divisible by 3. Here you may apply the divisibility test of 3. You can see the upper number, the sum of the digits of the upper number is 8 plus 7 is 15, and the sum of the digits of the lower number 4 plus 5 is 9. And you can see that 15 is divisible by 3 as because 3 5s are 15 and 9 is also divisible by 3, and so we can say both these numbers are divisible by 3. So this can be broken further. 3 multiplied by 3 2s are 6. I should be able to do divisions very fast. 3 2s are 6, carry 2, 3 9s are 27. So 3 multiplied by 29 is 87. You can check over here, 87 divided by 3, 3 2s are 6, 27, 3 9s are 27. Yes, it is. Next, we cancel this. 3 1s are 3, carry 2, 3 8s are 24. So 3 multiplied by 80. You may check this through division. You may do it that yourself. So here 3 and 3 are the common factors. They get cancelled, and this fraction reduced to 29 by 80. So this 5 by 6 plus 7 by 9 can be written as 87 by 54, or it can also be written as 29 by. So this is the procedure. You can carry out the addition. Now let's take an example of subtraction. Suppose we want to subtract 1 by 2 minus 2 by say 9. So what can we do with this? First of all, take 9 and multiply that with the top and bottom numbers, the numerator and denominator first fraction. So we'll multiply with the minus sign over here, minus sign, and then we shall multiply the top and bottom number of the second fraction with the denominator or the bottom number of the first fraction, which is 2. So this gives us 9 ones are 9, 9 twos are 18, minus 2 twos are 4, 9 twos are 18. So 4 upon 18 is the equivalent fraction of 2 by 9, and 9 upon 18 is the equivalent fraction upon 1 by 2. So now it's easy to subtract by 18. So 9 minus 4 is 5 by. So there are no common factors between 5 and 18. So this cannot be broken further. So simply 5 by 18 is the answer for this particular problem. Taking one more example, 11 upon 16 minus 2 by say 10. What we can do? Again, 11 by 16 multiplied by this number 10 by 10 minus 2 upon 10 multiply by 16 upon 16. So multiplying by 10 is easy. If you multiply a number by 10, you just put the number and put a 0 behind it. So this is equal to 110. Similarly, 16 and a 0. So 160 minus 16 to the 32. You please memorize the table at least up to 20, or if you don't, please do not leave the questions. Just carry out multiplication as you know, like this. 6 to the 12, carry 1, 2 1 the 2, 3. So you should know multiplication well. 16 to the 32. The denominator says 10 into 16 is 160. So here please check that we have got like fractions. So what we can do, we can 110 minus 32, keep the denominator same. So 110 plus 32 will be equal to 10 minus 2, 8. It will be 10 minus 3, 7. So 78. So here is 78 upon 160. So you can see that the answer to this question is 78 upon 160. Now this fraction, as you can see that the unit place digits are even, so this 78 upon 160 can be reduced further, which I leave for you to do it of your own. Thank you. I hope you understand the procedure of carrying out addition and subtraction of unlike fractions with this method 1, where we multiply the bottom numbers of both the fractions and consider that to be the common denominator. In the next video, we'll discuss the method 2, that is finding the lowest common denominator. So check out the next video.